Welcome to another episode of The Death of Art. We are here at the Art Walk Atlantic Avenue Arts Gowanus on 1.5 miles of art. I don't think I said that right, but what this is some kind of like art walk that has adjusted itself to the coronavirus environment. So it's socially distanced. So far we've seen things like storefront windows, people tap dancing on the street. I'm starting here because this is the site of the coolest location on Atlantic Avenue. This is the former site, I should say, of Hank's Saloon. It was a mess, but some great shows happened in here, and it was actually really a part of Brooklyn. It had grown with the neighborhood, and well, look at it now. It's closed a couple of years ago, and that's about the last thing that we have of old Brooklyn, New York. To put it into contrast, we've had 6 months of lockdown or more, and now the art world is trying to revive itself, and this is the shape it's taking. Here we have disused store windows with art in it. So there's a clear separation. You're not going in somewhere, you're not talking to people. This is now all socially distanced, and you're seeing it through glass, which is really a monumental difference. I'm looking at the work, and it honestly doesn't seem any different than any group show, but it's really the context and the environment has radically changed. This might actually be a commentary on what is going on all around us. It's late, it's done, it's gone. So we have 65 different places to visit. It's going to end up, they say, on the water, but we'll see. Here we have another storefront. Now, I don't want to get too deeply into the analysis of this, but this looks like a hobbyist, which is having a really great time with her, like, is this like from a class or something? I'm not too sure. Like, what is it doing here? I understand we have restrictions with COVID-19 and the lockdown, but again, this whole thing seems strained, created, and manufactured. There is nothing at all natural about this. This is kind of unusual, and if I were to say there's maybe a purpose to an art walk like this, is that just very odd outsider things like this will actually show up. There's an idea here, and I can't say it reminds me of somebody else. So I you know, this is actually a nice moment. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a shit show. This is exactly why the Death of Art was born. Here you have something that is purely decorative. It's masquerading as art, but it is a purely decorative piece. This belongs in a foyer or a waiting room of a lawyer's office or a corporate office. There's just nothing here at all but decoration. And it's not even decoration, artistic decoration. It's a step below or above wallpaper, maybe. Here we are at Out of the Closet.
This is called Crybaby's Wall, and also it says free HIV testing. What I see is different. It's kind of like maybe the artist wants to show what the crying baby is seeing in the world. So it's all like very scary things in some sense, but also they're all like in these pink colors. Like when the parents want to calm down the kids, they try to entertain. And when the toys come over, but also the toys can be seen by the baby, very scary.
I really think this works. The reason it works is this is like a window box display setup. So they're playing with the environment, with the context. In other words, this is like a window display. It's a completely surreal, bizarre window display. But I love all of these handmade creations. And this is not just something thrown up behind glass and saying, look at my art. This is using the actual environment, and it works beautifully. And I like this one. All right, so when we started this little art walk, there was kind of a big mystery. So we have here, will include photography, paintings, drawings, sculpture, multimedia, and large installations at more than 65 storefronts, outdoor dining areas, medical offices, and public spaces along Atlantic Avenue and 4th Avenue. So the medical spaces part really mystified me, and I guess here we have our answer. This is a City MD. I'm not too sure if this is art, but at this point, anything is possible, so stay with us, guys. I mean, it really appears to me that what we have here with this art walk, in many parts of it, is a marketing ploy. Let's put art in the window of our shop, and people will come by because there's an organized art walk. I can't take this very seriously. You introduce this one.
So this is our first chance to go inside and see another form of art, which is carpentry. And I recognize the carpets as also like a lot of art in it, because it's how people, the artisans in like Persia, and they were embedding in the carpets their vision. The most important thing in the carpentry in Persia or in like Central Asia, it was about geometry, and through geometry to show the universal rules.
This piece in particular is magnificent, and I just want to point out to the art world that you can have this magnificent interpretation and explanation of the rules of certain people, and universal rules are being explained here, and it's only $649 plus tax. It's not a little sketch for $299 that will yellow and fade in a few years. This is something you have for your life, and if you're lucky, you hand it down. This is absolutely beautiful. I like that.
That's my kind of thing.
Yeah, this is really perverse. I love this. This is like Americana outsider art. You see, this is why we go to these things. You wade through all this like really boring, repetitive stuff, and now you have a guy with a vision. This is actually what I call a vision. This is Seth King. He is the artist, and I'm glad he brought us his work. It was such a surprise. I almost gotten sleepy and bored, and here we have a unique vision. It's very Americana, but very unique. It's not like anything else. And rock on, Seth.
Thank you.
Growing up in New York, my first suit I got at Barneys, but in Manhattan. Now look at Barneys. This, to me, is absolutely a walk into the Twilight Zone. So these are wood sculptures that are, I mean, these two appear to be mating. And my God, what is this? I'm confused. This is just all a bunch of tchotchkes. What do you all think about this? Are you on this art wall?
Mm-hmm.
Did you find anything really impressive yet?
Reminds me of Palm Desert. That's what this one.
Right, it reminds me of a gift shop.
Yeah.
I could not have imagined anybody saying it better than that. Palm Desert gift shop. Thank you. This actually kind of looks like a cool, radical, like arts bookstore place.
Yeah.
I'm actually grateful that they're not part of this whole thing.
I'm trying to capture the consciousness of people at this moment of time through asking each person to give me one word that's on their mind right now.
Unfortunately, I'm focused on that elephant, and that's what's on my mind right now.
Elephant.
The phrase that's been on my mind is context is everything, but that's more than one word.
So I'll go with the elephant since there's no room for an extra elephant, and this is your addition to this piece. It's been more optimistic than I expected. A lot of hope, supercalifragilistic, a lot of peace. I got some dragons and pigs.
Magnificent. This is like an almost higher form of journalism. I mean, it's beyond journalism, but I just can't think of a better word. This is fantastic. What's your name?
Patricia Daher. This is my Instagram. The final piece will be posted tonight. And here's a menu for the restaurant.
Okay, that Whatever they're doing there, that's definitely art. $50,000 of education. I still don't know what art is, but when I see it, I know it, and that's it. There's been 65 exhibitions, and we missed most of them. But as with all of these things, by default, if you have 65 artists, you're going to find one or two good people because they just will happen to be there anyway. And that's the thing. When you get institutions involved with art, you are bound to get the lowest and creamiest and uninspiring stuff. But we actually, I think by default, because we went through this huge 1.5-mile area, ran into a couple of good things, or interesting things, or lively things. This is it. This is how it ends. I didn't think we would be here in front of this construction fence. I thought we would like open up into some great sort of meaningful experience, and it just didn't work out that way. But that's the way we roll in New York. Good night, folks. Please like, please subscribe, and please ring the bell.